Hey guys, Dan King here. I know, today I was supposed to be doing the review of Legend of Korra Remembrances for the Disgruntled Reviewer series. That's not coming out today because I have not had the time to do it. So this is just a quick review of Batman Beyond #1, which I was going to do as part of the My Week in Comics video I did yesterday, but unfortunately I couldn't find it. So, here it is. And the cover is, generally speaking, rather good. It really does a good job of showcasing Tim Drake as the new Batman Beyond, and I really like this font. It's very techno and very out there, whilst also the Beyond is written in a sort of Joker graffiti style. Unfortunately, the first problems actually come about in the cover, because we see a lot of DCAU characters in the background, and we see the old Superman from the DCAU, and looking at this, I assumed that we'd be getting old Superman in this series. But in the actual book, Superman does not appear to look like this at all. In fact, he's a cyborg and a villain. So it's rather misleading on that point. However, the art in the book is generally pretty good. The only real complaints I have are Batman Beyond's eyes look absolutely huge, very disproportionate to his head, and they're very distracting, and they make him look a lot less threatening than I know he's supposed to look, which is unfortunate. And the only other thing I can say about the art, aside from the fact some of the characters look a little unnecessarily and unrealistically muscly as well. I think Tim Drake has freakishly tall shoulder muscles, which don't really look real on an actual human. Let me just find a scene. There's one where they just look so outrageous. But aside from that, the art's generally speaking very good. Though I do find it kind of odd that one of the Jokers was drawn to look exactly like Miley Cyrus. So we get to see Batman beating up Miley Cyrus, then shooting her in the chin with a rubber bullet. Who comes up with this? Was this some sort of weird artist fantasy? Was he like, that Miley Cyrus song was really annoying, let's have Batman beat her up? But aside from that, I think this is a very well written arc, aside from a few bits of dialogue in the first couple of pages, which are kind of a bit weird, like when Batman sort of says that, well, he calls the Jokers Joker cosplayers, and then he says, inspired by the original, no doubt, which kind of seems a weird thing to say when you already knew they were, and you already said that they were. So it kind of seems a little out of place. But other than that, I think the dialogue is very good, and there's some very emotional stuff with Matt and Tim, and also this new character called Nora, who's been looking after Matt McGinnis. Matt McGinnis, for those of you who don't know, is Terry McGinnis's mother. Brother, not mother. Sorry. Their mother is missing in this book, which is rather sad, and their father was still murdered, presumably again under the orders of Derek Powers. Certainly Derek Powers did exist in this timeline. We have Wayne Powers still existing, and in the mainstream Batman arc we're getting to know Derek Powers' mother. So that's rather interesting. We're actually getting to know a lot about Derek Powers' history. But to my knowledge, we haven't even seen him in the New 52 yet. So to have more than one book in certain aspects setting up Derek Powers really makes me hopeful that we'll get to see him as a really major villain in this arc. But at the moment it's focusing more on Brother Eye and all the stuff that's happened to the world as a result of him. Personally, I hope that we can just eventually forget about Brother Eye and just have Blight, because Blight is awesome, and Blight was horrendously underused in the original Batman Beyond series, without even making a single appearance after Series 1, in spite of the implication that he may have survived. I do think, generally, I said, that it's well written. But I'm not so sure about some of the stuff that goes on with Matt, because Matt McGuinness seems convinced that Terry McGuinness would have given him the suit afterwards, and after he died, if Matt had been there instead of Tim, and I'm not sure that Terry McGuinness would have really wanted to endanger his brother like that. But all in all, I'd say it's well drawn, surprisingly well written, and very intriguing. But I can't help but miss Terry McGuinness. I would give this book 4 stars. It lost a star for those silly eyes, and for not having Terry McGuinness in it. That's all.